Welcome! Today we're making a classic red velvet cake, rich, moist, and topped with creamy cream cheese frosting. This cake is perfect for any occasion, and I'll guide you through each step from preparing the batter to frosting the cake. Let's get started and bake a delicious red velvet cake together. Alright, let's talk about the ingredients. For the cake, you'll need 2½ cups of all-purpose flour to give our cake structure, and 1½ cups of granulated sugar for sweetness. The 1 cup of vegetable oil will keep the cake moist, while 1 cup of buttermilk adds a nice tangy flavor and helps with the texture. We're using 2 large eggs to bind everything together. 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder provide that subtle chocolate undertone, with 1 teaspoon each of baking powder and baking soda to make the cake rise. Don't forget the 1/2 teaspoon of salt to enhance all the flavors. To get that classic red color, add 2 tablespoons of red gel food coloring. Finally, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract adds a nice flavor, and 1 teaspoon of white vinegar helps to react with the baking soda for a fluffy texture. For the frosting, you'll need 8 ounces of softened cream cheese and ½ cup of softened unsalted butter for creaminess. Mix in 4 cups of powdered sugar to sweeten it up, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract to round out the flavor. That's it! Let's get baking! Let's start by preheating our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 175 degrees Celsius. This is the ideal temperature for baking our red velvet cake, ensuring it cooks evenly and rises perfectly. While the oven heats up, we need to prepare our cake pans. You'll need 2 9-inch round cake pans. First, we'll grease them to make sure the cake doesn't stick. You can use butter or cooking spray for this. Simply apply a thin, even layer of butter or spray all over the inside of each pan. Next, we'll add a layer of flour on top of the greased surface. Sprinkle a small amount of flour into each pan and then gently tap and tilt the pan to coat the entire surface. This creates a non-stick surface for the cake. Alternatively, if you prefer, you can line the pans with parchment paper. Cut out circles of parchment paper that fit the bottom of each pan. Place the parchment in the pans and then grease and flour the top of the parchment as well. This is a great option to ensure your cakes come out cleanly. So, with the oven preheating and the pans prepared, we're all set to mix our cake batter. Let's get ready for the next step. Let's move on to preparing our cake batter. First, grab a medium-sized bowl. Into this bowl, whisk together 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This mixture will be our dry ingredients. Next, in a large mixing bowl, combine 1½ cups of granulated sugar with 1 cup of vegetable oil. Beat these together until the mixture is light and fluffy. This helps to incorporate air into the batter, giving the cake a nice texture. Now add 2 large eggs, one at a time, to the sugar and oil mixture. Beat well after each egg to ensure they are fully incorporated. Follow this with 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract for flavor and 2 tablespoons of red food coloring to achieve that vibrant red hue. Mix until everything is well combined. It's time to combine the wet and dry ingredients. Gradually add the dry mixture to the wet ingredients, alternating with 1 cup of buttermilk. Start and end with the dry ingredients, mixing just until combined. Overmixing can make the cake dense, so be careful not to overdo it. Finally, add 1 teaspoon of white vinegar and mix briefly to incorporate it into the batter. The vinegar helps to react with the baking soda and gives the cake its light, airy texture. Your batter is now ready to go into the prepared pans. Let's get ready to bake. Now it's time to bake our cake. Start by dividing the batter evenly between the 2 prepared pans. Use a spatula to smooth the tops of the batter, ensuring an even surface. Place the pans in the preheated oven. Bake them for 25 to 30 minutes. To check if the cakes are done, insert a toothpick or a cake tester into the center of each cake. If it comes out clean, with no wet batter clinging to it, the cakes are ready. If there's still batter on the toothpick, let the cakes bake a little longer, checking every 2 minutes to avoid overbaking. Once they're done, remove the cakes from the oven and let them cool in the pans for about 10 minutes. This cooling time allows them to set and makes it easier to remove them from the pans without breaking. After 10 minutes, gently turn the cakes out onto a wire rack to cool completely. Cooling the cakes completely before frosting is crucial to prevent the frosting from melting. So let the cakes cool down, and we'll be ready to frost them once they're fully cooled. Let's make the cream cheese frosting. Start by placing 8 ounces of softened cream cheese and half a cup of softened unsalted butter into a large mixing bowl. Beat them together on medium speed until the mixture is smooth and creamy. This usually takes about 1 to 2 minutes. Next, gradually add 4 cups of powdered sugar to the cream cheese and butter mixture. Add the sugar in small increments to avoid a sugar cloud. Continue to beat the mixture on low speed until the sugar is fully incorporated, then increase the speed to medium and beat until the frosting is smooth and fluffy. This step is key to getting the right texture for your frosting. Once the powdered sugar is well combined, mix in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract for added flavor. Give the frosting a final mix to ensure everything is well blended. Your cream cheese frosting should be smooth, creamy, and ready to spread. Now you can frost your cooled cakes, creating a delicious finish for your red velvet cake. Now that your cakes are completely cool, it's time to assemble and frost them. First, check the tops of your cakes. If they have domed up during baking, use a serrated knife to level them off. This helps the layers stack evenly and makes for a better presentation. Place 1 cake layer on your serving plate or cake stand. Spread a generous layer of cream cheese frosting over the top of this layer. Use an offset spatula or the back of a spoon to smooth the frosting out evenly. Next, carefully place the second cake layer on top of the frosted layer. Gently press it down to make sure it's level and stable. Now frost the top and sides of the cake with the remaining cream cheese frosting. Start by spreading a thin layer of frosting over the entire cake, known as a crumb coat. This helps to seal in any crumbs. Chill the cake for about 15 minutes to set the crumb coat. After chilling, apply a thicker layer of frosting over the cake, smoothing it out as you go. You can use a spatula to create swirls or a smooth finish, depending on your preference. Your cake is now beautifully assembled and frosted. And lastly, here are some helpful tips for making your red velvet cake. For a vibrant red color, use gel food coloring instead of liquid. Gel coloring is more concentrated and won't affect the batter's consistency. If you don't have buttermilk, you can make a quick substitute. Just add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar to a measuring cup and fill it with milk up to 1 cup. Let it sit for about 5 minutes before using. This will give you a similar tangy flavor and acidity. Be careful not to overmix your batter. Mix just until combined to avoid developing too much gluten, which can make the cake dense and heavy. Make sure your cakes are completely cool before you start frosting. Frosting a warm cake can cause it to melt and slide off, making a mess. Enjoy your baking and have fun decorating your delicious red velvet cake.